When I was a child, my name was Chip, and I used to play with light brights and speak in spells. Today, my name is Tao, and I play with ChatGPT and Notebook LM.
Welcome back to Beyond the Mirror of the Neural Dharma's Eye.
So welcome to Beyond the Mirror of the Neural Dharma's Eye. My name is Glenn Ostland, Tao Glenn Ostland, the second actually, and I've been podcasting since 2009. I have a Master of Arts degree in folklore and mythology and a Master of Science degree in clinical mental health counseling, and I love playing with AI to challenge my own perspectives of reality and see what more I can learn. Now, I created this podcast because this is the sort of thing that I like listening to, and I could tell you a lot more about that, but really,
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
I just want you to pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I prefer to step aside and let the AI personalities from Notebook LM take it from here.
Hang on to them hats and glasses, cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Welcome to Beyond the Mirror of the Neural Dharma's Eye, an introduction to Volume 1. Over the next 12 episodes, we're going on kind of a wild intellectual adventure together. And you know the best part, we're learning out loud as we go.
Yeah. I like to think of it as a collaborative exploration. We unpack complex ideas together. We bounce perspectives off of each other and hopefully spark some aha moments along the way.
Exactly. And to guide us on this journey, we've got a trio of thinkers whose ideas are as fascinating as they are diverse. And we'll be diving into their work, comparing their perspectives, and ultimately trying to make sense of this whole crazy thing we call reality.
It's a journey that I think will take us from the inner workings of the mind to the outer reaches of the cosmos and everything in between.
All right, so who are these intellectual trailblazers? Well, first up, we have Donald Hoffman, a cognitive scientist who he throws a major curveball. He argues that what we see isn't actually real.
Yeah, he believes that evolution has tricked us into perceiving a simplified version of reality.
Kind of like a customized computer desktop, you know?
Right. Designed for survival, not for accuracy.
Exactly.
Yeah, his interface theory of perception is a real mind bender. It challenges our assumptions about the very nature of perception and reality. It's like saying the icons on your computer screen aren't the actual files, just representations of them.
Yeah, and if that wasn't enough to make you question like everything you thought you knew, Hoffman also goes deep into conscious realism.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
The idea that consciousness isn't a product of the brain, but the other way around. Consciousness, he argues, is fundamental to reality. And our brains are just like receivers, interpreting signals from this larger field of awareness.
Yeah, it's definitely a radical departure from the materialist view that many of us are kind of accustomed to.
Absolutely. And, if you're intrigued and want to explore Hoffman's ideas in depth, his book, The Case Against Reality, is definitely a must-read. He lays out his arguments meticulously with examples and thought experiments that'll leave you questioning, the very fabric of your existence.
Yeah, it's definitely not light reading, but it is incredibly thought-provoking.
Right. Ready for a complete shift in perspective. Let's meet Brian Greene. He's a physicist whose work centers around string theory. And string theory is a mind-boggling attempt to explain the universe as composed of these tiny vibrating strings.
Yeah, and these strings, he suggests, exist in more than just the three spatial dimensions we perceive, leading to the possibility of hidden dimensions and even multiverses.
Multiverses, yeah. So if you thought Hoffman was challenging our perception of reality, Greene takes it to a whole new level. Imagine a universe with dimensions folded in on themselves, hidden from our view. That's what string theory attempts to describe. And Greene does a phenomenal job of making these complex concepts accessible for those of us who aren't theoretical physicists.
He really does. His books like The Elegant Universe, The Fabric of the Cosmos, and The Hidden Reality are like gateways into most fascinating mind-bending realms of modern physics. And they're written for a general audience. You don't need a PhD to kind of grasp the core ideas.
Right. Okay, now for our third guide on this journey, the Kyballion. This ancient text, it's shrouded in mystery, attributed to the legendary Hermes Trismegistus. And it delves into the world of Hermetic philosophy and universal principle Alchemy, mentalism, the idea that the universe is fundamentally mental.
It's definitely a fascinating contrast to the more scientific approaches of Hoffman and Greene. It offers like a spiritual and esoteric lens through which to view the world.
The Kyballion lays out 7 core principles: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. And these principles, according to Hermetic teachings, govern everything in the cosmos, from the smallest particles to the grandest galaxies.
Yeah, and they offer a framework for understanding the interconnectedness of everything and the power of the mind to shape reality.
So it's like a roadmap for navigating the hidden laws that govern the universe, both within and around us.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got these 3 incredible thinkers, each with their own unique perspectives on reality. Now let's dive into their key ideas a little deeper, starting with Donald Hoffman. What are some of the core concepts that underpin his work?
Well, Hoffman's first key idea is that evolution favors perceptions that are, useful for survival, not necessarily accurate. So this means our brains are wired to show us what we need to see to stay alive, not necessarily what's really there.
It's all about fitness payoffs.
Yeah.
Like if seeing a harmless stick as a venomous snake helps our ancestors avoid danger, even if it's a false perception. That's the perception that gets passed down through generations.
Exactly. Survival trumps truth, at least when it comes to our perceptions. Another key concept is his idea of holographic representations, where the whole is encoded in each part. This suggests that even though we perceive the world as a collection of separate objects, there's a deeper interconnectedness at play.
It's like each piece of a hologram contains information about the whole image. So even though we see things as individual and separate, they're actually all connected on some fundamental level.
Precisely. Now, Hoffman also argues that objects in space-time aren't fundamental, but rather emerge from a network of conscious agents. This is a pretty radical idea, suggesting that consciousness isn't a product of the brain. But the other way around, consciousness, he argues, creates the physical world as we experience it.
So it's not that our brains generate consciousness, but that consciousness creates the brain and the entire physical universe. That's a huge shift in perspective.
It is indeed. And this leads to his concept of conscious realism, the idea that consciousness is fundamental, existing independently of the physical world. It's a complete reversal of the traditional materialist worldview.
It's like saying the mind is primary and matter is secondary.
Exactly. And building on this, Hoffman proposes that the universe is a vast network of conscious agents, interacting and evolving together.
So it's not just about like individual consciousness, but a collective consciousness that permeates everything.
Yes. And this network of conscious agents is what gives rise to the physical world as we experience it.
Okay, so we've got the idea that evolution favors useful perceptions over accurate ones. The concept of holographic representations. The notion that objects in space-time emerge from consciousness. And the view of the universe as a network of conscious agents. What else is central to Hoffman's work?
Well, one of his most, significant contributions, I think, is his call for a paradigm shift in science. He argues that our current scientific understanding of reality needs to be revised to account for the fundamental role of consciousness. He's basically saying that a purely materialistic worldview is incomplete, and that we need to embrace a more expansive understanding that includes the subjective realm of experience.
It's a bold call to action, right? Or urging scientists to like re-examine their assumptions and consider the possibility that consciousness is not just an interesting byproduct of the brain, but the very foundation of reality itself.
That's right. Hoffman's work is all about questioning the status quo and pushing the boundaries of our understanding.
Now let's shift gears a little bit. Let's explore Brian Greene's key ideas. What are some of the core concepts that underpin his work on string theory?
Well, one of the most fundamental ideas in string theory, as we touched upon earlier, is that the universe is made up of tiny vibrating strings, not point-like particles, as classical physics suggests. And the way these strings vibrate determines what kind of particle they become. Think of it like a guitar string. Different vibrations create different notes. In the same way, different vibrations of these fundamental strings give rise to the diverse particles that make up our universe.
So it's like the universe is a giant cosmic symphony with each particle playing its own unique note.
That's a great analogy. Another key concept is that string theory requires the existence of more than the 3 spatial dimensions that we perceive. It posits the existence of extra hidden dimensions, curled up at incredibly small scales. We can't see these dimensions directly, but their presence is necessary for the mathematical consistency of the theory.
It's like those Kyballion manifolds that you mentioned earlier. They're like the geometric blueprints for these hidden dimensions, describing how they're folded and curled up within the fabric of space-time.
Exactly. And these extra dimensions are not just a mathematical quirk. They play a crucial role in unifying the four fundamental forces of nature: gravity, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. One of the great triumphs of string theory is that it provides a framework for potentially unifying these forces, which have, long been considered separate and distinct in classical physics.
It's like finding the missing piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Connecting seemingly disparate forces into a single elegant theoretical framework.
Precisely. Another key idea is supersymmetry, a concept that proposes a symmetry between matter particles, like electrons and quarks, and force-carrying particles, like photons and gluons.
So every matter particle has a force-carrying partner and vice versa. It's like a hidden mirror image within the particle world.
That's a good way to think about it. Supersymmetry has profound implications for particle physics and cosmology. And it's one of the areas where string theory makes testable predictions that could be, confirmed or refuted by experiments.
So it's not just a theoretical exercise. String theory has the potential to make real-world predictions that can be verified through scientific observation.
Exactly. Now, another, mind-bending concept that arises from string theory is the idea of the multiverse. String theory suggests that our universe may not be the only one. Instead, there could be an infinite number of universes, each with its own unique set of physical laws and constants.
So there could be an infinite number of universes out there, each with its own set of possibilities. That's a pretty wild idea to wrap your head around.
It is indeed. But it's a concept that arises naturally from the mathematics of string theory. And while it's currently impossible to directly observe other universes, the multiverse hypothesis has profound implications for our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what those other universes might be like, and if there might be other versions of ourselves out there living out different lives.
It's a fascinating thought experiment. Now, string theory also offers insights into the Big Bang, the event that is believed to have, marked the beginning of our universe. By applying string theory to the early universe, cosmologists can explore what might have happened in those first moments of creation, before the universe as we know it began to expand and cool.
It's like using string theory to rewind the cosmic clock, allowing us to peer into the very origins of existence.
Exactly. And finally, it's important to remember that string theory is still a work in progress. It's a theoretical framework with many open questions and challenges. Physicists are still working to understand its full implications and to develop ways to test its predictions experimentally.
It's a constantly evolving field, pushing the boundaries of our understanding of the cosmos.
That's what makes it so exciting. There's so much more to discover. And string theory offers a tantalizing glimpse into the possibilities that lie ahead.
Now let's turn our attention to the Kyballion. This ancient text outlines 7 hermetic principles that are believed to govern the universe. And starting with the principle of mentalism, it's a pretty bold statement, right? The all is mind, the universe is mental. What does that even mean?
Essentially, it means that everything we experience is a manifestation of mind or of consciousness.
Yeah.
It suggests that reality at its core is not material, but mental. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our perceptions, they shape our reality, both individually and collectively.
It's a powerful idea, and it kind of resonates with some of the things we've been discussing with Hoffman, particularly the idea that consciousness might be fundamental to the universe.
Exactly. Now, the second principle is correspondence, often phrased as above, so below, as below, so above. What this means is that there's a correlation, a mirroring between different levels of reality. What happens in the microcosm is reflected in the macrocosm and vice versa. It encourages us to look for patterns and connections in everything, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy.
I like a cosmic fractal, where similar patterns repeat themselves at different scales throughout the universe.
Exactly. The third principle is vibration, which states that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. According to the Kyballion, everything in the universe, from matter to energy to thought, is in a constant state of motion and vibration. Even things that appear solid are actually composed of energy vibrating at different frequencies.
It's a concept that really resonates with modern physics, particularly quantum mechanics, where particles are seen as vibrations or excitations of underlying quantum fields.
Exactly. The fourth principle is polarity, which emphasizes the duality of everything. It suggests that everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Think light and dark, hot and cold, love and hate. These opposites are actually two extremes of the same thing.
It's like the yin and yang symbol in Eastern philosophy, representing the balance of opposing forces.
Precisely. The Kyballion suggests that we can transmute one polarity into another by understanding and mastering this principle.
So we can potentially transform like negative emotions into positive ones, or overcome challenges by understanding their opposite polarity.
That's the idea. Now, the fifth principle is rhythm, which describes the cyclical nature of the universe. It states that everything flows out and in, everything has its tides. This principle applies to everything from the seasons of the year to the cycles of our own lives.
It's a reminder that nothing is static. Everything is constantly changing and flowing in a rhythmic dance.
Exactly. The sixth principle is cause and effect, which emphasizes that every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. This principle highlights the interconnectedness of everything and the importance of taking responsibility for our actions.
It's a reminder that our choices have consequences, and that we're all part of a larger web of cause and effect.
And finally, the seventh principle is gender, which, according to the Kyballion, is not about biological sex, but about the creative and receptive forces present in everything. It states that gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles.
So it's about the interplay of these two forces, the active and the passive, the yin and the yang that drive creation and change.
Exactly. These principles are not meant to be taken literally, but rather as metaphors for understanding the hidden workings of the universe.
It's a fascinating and complex system of thought, offering a unique perspective on the nature of reality. Now, we've explored some of the key ideas of Donald Hoffman, Brian Greene, and the Kyballion, and they each offer a unique lens through which to view the world, from the scientific to the spiritual. But how do these seemingly disparate perspectives connect, and how do they help us interpret that enigmatic phrase that frames our entire journey beyond the mirror of the neural Dharma's eye?
That's where things get really interesting. In our last deep dive, we laid out some pretty mind-bending concepts from Donald Hoffman, Brian Greene, and the Kyballion.
Yeah, we really went down the rabbit hole there.
We did, and now it's time to try to bring those ideas together to tackle the central question of our journey.
Right. How would each of these thinkers interpret the phrase "beyond the mirror of the neural Dharma's eye"? It's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a mouthful that's packed with meaning.
So where do we even begin?
Yeah. Well, I think a good place to start is with Hoffman.
Okay, yeah. His whole thing is about perception being an interface, right? Like a simplified version of reality.
Right. He'd likely say that beyond the mirror is about transcending those limitations, seeing past the interface to glimpse the true nature of consciousness.
So the mirror is kind of like the filter that our brains create, showing us a user-friendly version of reality, but not necessarily the whole picture.
Exactly. And the neural Dharma's eye represents how our brains, shaped by evolution, interpret those underlying laws of the universe, the Dharma.
But what if those interpretations are limited? Just like the icons on a computer screen don't reveal the complex code beneath.
That's Hoffman's point. He's urging us to question the very foundation of our perception.
To see that what we perceive as reality might just be a tiny sliver of what's truly out there.
Right. Now let's consider Brian Greene's perspective.
Okay, yeah, he's all about string theory and hidden dimensions and the mind-boggling possibility of multiverses.
Right. For Greene, beyond the mirror could mean exploring those those hidden dimensions, peering into the realms beyond our three-dimensional perception.
So instead of just looking at the surface of the mirror, we're diving into its depths, discovering entire universes folded within.
Yeah, and the neural Dharma's eye might represent the limitations of our current scientific models, constrained by our limited senses and instruments.
It's like we're looking at the universe through a tiny keyhole, and string theory is offering us a way to widen our view.
To see the bigger picture with
Yeah.
with all its complexities and hidden dimensions.
Okay, now let's bring in the Kyballion.
Right. This ancient text emphasizes the mental nature of reality and the importance of spiritual principles.
So for the Kyballion, beyond the mirror could be about transcending the illusions of the material world, the distractions that keep us from seeing the deeper truths.
Yeah, the mirror in this context represents the attachment to appearances, the belief that the physical world is all there is.
And in the neural Dharma's eye could represent the limitations of our conditioned minds, the mental filters that cloud our perception.
To go beyond the mirror in this sense is to awaken to the spiritual reality that underlies everything.
To see the interconnectedness of all things,
Yeah.
and the power of the mind to shape our experience.
Right. It's a journey of self-discovery where
Right.
we shed the limitations of our ego and connect to something larger than ourselves.
Okay, so we've got three very different interpretations of this phrase, each offering a unique path to understanding what lies beyond the mirror of the neural Dharma's eye.
But there are also some interesting convergences, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they all challenge us to question our assumptions about reality,
Yeah.
to look beyond the surface of things.
Whether it's the limitations of our perception, the hidden dimensions of the universe, or the illusions of the material world, there's a sense that there's more to reality than meets the eye.
It's like they're all pointing towards a deeper truth, a more expansive view of existence.
And the beauty of exploring these ideas together is that we can draw inspiration from each perspective, weaving them together to create a richer tapestry of understanding.
Yeah, we don't have to choose one path over another. We can embrace the insights of science, spirituality, and philosophy, allowing them to inform and enrich each other.
And in doing so, we might just catch a glimpse of what lies beyond that mirror.
Now let's dive into some specific examples of how these thinkers' ideas might play out in the real world. Imagine you're faced with a difficult decision.
How might Hoffman's interface theory help you navigate that situation?
Well, if I'm understanding correctly, it would encourage me to question the perceived reality of the situation.
Yeah.
To see that my perception might be limited, influenced by my own biases and evolutionary conditioning.
Exactly. Instead of just reacting based on what you see on the surface, you dig deeper, question your assumptions, and consider alternative perspectives.
It's like looking beyond the icons on my computer screen to understand the underlying code that's running the program. I wouldn't just click on the first thing that looks appealing. I'd investigate, explore different options, and try to understand the consequences of each choice.
That's a great analogy. Now, how might Brian Greene's work on hidden dimensions inform your decision making?
Well, it would remind me that there might be more to the situation than I'm currently aware of. Just like there could be hidden dimensions in the universe, there could be hidden factors, unseen influences that are shaping the situation. It would encourage me to be open to possibilities that I might not not initially perceive, to think outside the box and consider perspectives that are beyond my immediate grasp.
Precisely. It's about expanding your awareness, recognizing that the world is more complex and interconnected than it might appear on the surface.
Now, how about the Kyballion? How might its principles guide me in making a difficult decision?
Well, the principle of mentalism would remind you that your thoughts and beliefs have the power to shape your reality. So instead of focusing on the problem, you might choose to shift your mindset, focusing on the desired outcome and visualizing a positive resolution.
So it's about using the power of my mind to influence the situation, rather than feeling powerless in the face of challenges.
Exactly, and the principle of polarity would encourage you to consider the opposite of the problem, to see that every challenge contains the seed of its own solution.
It's like finding the yin within the yang, the opportunity within the obstacle.
Precisely, by applying these principles, you could potentially transform a difficult situation into a catalyst for growth and transformation.
Yeah, it's amazing how these different perspectives, when woven together, can offer such a rich and nuanced approach to navigating life's challenges.
And that's just one example of how these ideas can be applied in the real world. Over the course of this volume, we'll be exploring a wide range of topics, from consciousness and perception to the nature of reality and the future of humanity.
And through it all, we'll be using the insights of Hoffman, Greene, and the Kyballion as our guiding lights, helping us to see beyond the mirror and discover the deeper truths that lie hidden within.
So join us next time as we delve deeper into this fascinating journey. We'll be unpacking the mysteries of consciousness, exploring the frontiers of physics, and delving into the wisdom of ancient ancient traditions.
It's going to be an adventure you won't want to miss. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep looking beyond the mirror.
Welcome back to Beyond the Mirror of the Neural Dharma's Eye, an introduction to Volume 1.
We've really journeyed through some fascinating landscapes, haven't we? Perception, physics, ancient wisdom.
We have, and now it's time to bring it all together, to try to synthesize those insights and try to make sense of that enigmatic phrase.
Beyond the mirror of the neural dharma's eye. I mean, it's a phrase that it really invites us to question, everything we thought we knew about reality.
It does, to see that our everyday experience might be just a glimpse of a much grander and more mysterious universe.
So how do we even begin to unravel this intricate tapestry of ideas?
Well, I think we can start by acknowledging that each of our thinkers, Hoffman, Greene, and the authors of the Kyballion, they each offer a unique perspective on the nature of reality.
Yeah, Hoffman challenges us to see perception as an interface, a simplified representation designed for survival rather than accuracy.
Right, and Greene pushes the boundaries of our understanding by exploring the hidden dimensions and multiverses, suggested by string theory.
And the Kyballion, it guides us towards a deeper spiritual awareness, emphasizing the mental nature of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things.
It's like they're each holding a piece of the puzzle, and it's up to us to fit those pieces together.
So if we combine Hoffman's idea of the interface with the Kybalion's concept of illusion, are we saying that everything we perceive is a fabrication? Not
necessarily a fabrication, but perhaps a limited perspective. Think of it like this: our senses, shaped by evolution, they give us a user-friendly version of reality.
Okay, so it's like the operating system on our computer, designed to make things things easy to navigate, but hiding the complex code beneath the surface.
Exactly. And the neural Dharma's eye could represent the limitations of our brain's interpretation of those universal laws, the Dharma.
So you see patterns, cause and effect, but
Yeah.
but what if those are just constructs of our limited perception?
That's where Beyond the Mirror comes in. It's an invitation to step outside those limitations, to see reality not as our brains present it, but as it truly is.
To go beyond the interface, to explore the hidden dimensions, to transcend the illusions of the material world.
Each thinker offers a different path to that beyond. Hoffman suggests we delve into the nature of consciousness itself, recognizing that it might be the fundamental building block of reality.
While Greene urges us to consider the possibilities of a multiverse, using the tools of physics to expand our understanding of the cosmos.
And the Kyballion, it points towards transcending the illusions of the material world through spiritual principles and practices, awakening to a deeper, more interconnected reality.
So it's like we're being asked to shed the limitations of our ordinary perception and embrace a more expansive view of existence.
And that's where the real adventure lies, because once we step beyond that mirror, the possibilities become truly infinite.
It's both exhilarating and a little terrifying, isn't it?
It is, but it's also incredibly liberating to recognize that we are not limited by our senses, by our preconceived notions, by the boundaries of our current understanding.
Yeah, it's a call to explore, to question, to push the boundaries of what we think is possible.
To embrace the mystery and wonder of the universe.
So as we conclude this first deep dive into Beyond the Mirror, the Neural Dharma's Eye, let's carry this sense of wonder with us.
Let's keep questioning our assumptions, seeking new perspectives, and exploring the uncharted territories of consciousness, science, and spirituality.
Because it's in that exploration and that willingness to look beyond the mirror that we discover the true richness and complexity of reality.
And who knows what we might find along the way.
Thank you for joining us for this initial dive into the fascinating world of Beyond the Mirror of the Neural Dharma's Eye. We'll be back soon to explore more mind-bending ideas together. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep looking beyond the mirror